This is going.
All right.
You're live.
There you go.
Hey guys, are y'all watching? Is anyone up here? I cannot see. I'm really bad at using these. So let's see. No one's up.
We're going to start running short.
Yeah. It's 1:52. Oh, there we go. We have Miranda Hobbs. There we are. Yay, Miranda. All right, just Miranda. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. Sorry, I like to log in a little bit earlier so that way y'all have time to make sure that y'all are logging in. Make sure you have your first and last name whenever you log in, and make sure, especially at the beginning, that you log in with your time, just to make sure that we know that you were here at 2 o'clock or earlier. So that way we can give you the hours. Wow. Not a lot of early birds. Oh, there we go. Hey, Kimmy. Hi. Oh, Kimberly Trans here. We have 4. There's Lynn. Hey, Lynn. Make sure y'all are clocking in. Comments are technically you're clocking in. So make sure you have your first and your last name. Make sure you have the time that you're clocking in, just like you would at the school. Make sure you have your first name and last name. I know some of your usernames aren't exactly y'all's real names, so it's kind of hard whenever, you know, someone like me who's never met some of y'all in person, it's hard for me to know who's who. Oh, thank you, Kimmy. Yeah, I graduated yesterday. Let me do my introduction now that there are at least 3 of you here. I am Alana. I am a student instructor currently at the South School. I graduated yesterday, so just like you guys, I have to take a practical and a written to become a certified instructor. So right now, I don't have my white coat. I only have my black. So right now what I'm saying is I'm a gray coat because I'm not exactly either one anymore. So, oh, good. We have some more people. Emily, Lynn. Oh, wait, I already said Lynn. Felice. Yay. We are starting to get a lot of people. Oh, there's Chloe. Hi, Chloe. Oh, thank you, Vicki. Yeah, it's a long, beautiful process. I love it. Let's see. Who else do we have? Don't forget to comment your attendance. Thanks, Chloe. Miss you, Chloe. So let's see. Are y'all close to graduating? I know some of you are. I know some of you. Are y'all close to getting y'all's 1,000 hours? Pretty close? Yeah, I remember what it was like to get 1,000 hours. You're just like, yes. And then 1,400, you're like, oh, ooh. And then 1,500, you're like, I got this. Let's go take the written and the practical. Oh, Chloe says she's close to 100. Miranda, 1,200. There we go. Hey, that's really, really good, guys. Keep pushing. Keep wanting to come here. I know online learning isn't exactly what y'all thought y'all would be doing 2 months ago, but it's okay because we are here to care for you and we are here to help you get those hours, guys. We're working hard 24/7. So if you have a teacher's number, instructor's number, text them thank you. You know, this is something that we all, every single one of us have to put in work, even if we're in front of the camera or not. So just make sure you tell an instructor thank you. You know, they're working so hard. Oh, we got a few more. Alana Frias, is that right? Amber Crum, Lauren Riviera, there we go. Hi, guys. Hannah. Hi, Hannah. Okay, so we have about 4 minutes until I'm gonna start, just to make sure that everyone gets this, because this state board is pretty important, guys. State board is really, really important. And I will tell you this right now, a lot of people before we went out on the break, they were not doing so well. And that's only because they aren't focused on the sanitation part and the safety. So we'll get more into that, and we'll talk about what the proctors are looking for exactly, and what needs to be accomplished. So that's what's awesome. Hey, Joelle. Hey, Rihanna. Glad to see y'all. There we go. Keep clocking in with your first name, last name, your school, and the number you clocked in at, the time. Want to make sure that everyone gets their attendance. Hi, Annabelle. All right, we have about 3 more minutes. So what I'm going to be teaching y'all about today, of course, y'all know, it's a forward continuation of first aid. So we have the blood exposure incident, and luckily enough for us, this is a state board procedure. So that is better. They just added this. So we are excited for the salon. This is something that can and may happen to you, and you need to know how to actually do a blood exposure incident. Sorry, I'm a hand talker, so you'll see my arms flailing. All right, we have Tabitha. Hey, Molly. All right, we have Frida. There's Sarah, Kayla. There's Mabry. All right, perfect. Jasmine Grubbs. All right, keep signing in. Make sure you have your time on there, so that way we can get everyone clocked in. That is the goal. Oh, thank you, Brenna. So, and before we start, I do want to tell y'all that since we are all home, let's take this opportunity and let's pack. Like, you're home. Easy, right? So if you have the paper here, I remember a lot of you, I came to the North School, and a lot of you got the papers we had for the blood exposure incident. And the girls at the South School, girls and guys at the South School, they also have this paper. So if you want to, before we get started, go grab that paper real quick. And so that way we can pack the materials together. So that way it's just easier. I mean, honestly, this is perfect. All right. Wendy said new students need to pay attention and remember the state board stuff you must perform in order to pass. So now that it's 2 o'clock, I do have one announcement. Make sure you have your review ready from Molly at 5. That's what she's going to go over. So let's get into the lesson. For those of you who don't know, I am Alana. I am a student instructor at the South School. Nice to meet some of you. And for some of you, I miss you so much. Oh. Lost my train of thought. Let's get started. State board, why is it important? Why are we even doing a test? State board, what I thought was that it's more of taking a test. It's just taking a test. You know, you take a test, you pass, you get your license. State board isn't testing over if you can do the perfect haircut, if you can do the perfect perm. State board is testing over state safety and sanitation. That's their biggest step. So let's go into the blood exposure more. So our blood exposures, safety criteria, because this is what you need to know. This is exactly, you have 12 minutes to do this whole state board, and it is 12 points. So that is a lot of points, okay? So your safety criteria is right here. If you would like to write it down, you can. I'm sorry for my handwriting. It is not the best, but we're here. So our first bullet right here is properly dispose of materials. So that means properly disposing of your gloves that you're going to use anything in the bandage wrapper, anything that you can use that you have to dispose of. Remember, in this certain criteria, you have to have your biohazard and then your regular trash. So there's completely different ones, and we'll go over which one it is. The next one is workstation area remains sanitary. So make sure you're not cross-contaminating. Make sure you're going over everything. So make sure you're EPAing. Make sure you're sanitizing your hands. That's keeping your workstation sanitary. Okay. The third one is replace contaminated items. That just means that if you contaminate an item, let's say I dropped my Band-Aid on the ground. I need to have a replacement for that just in case, okay? So basically what I would do is on the materials that we are giving you today, you can totally pack extra. You can make sure that, I'm a nervous wreck all the time, especially during my state board, I dropped a lot of stuff. So I always packed 2 or 3 extra of something just in case. Make sure you give yourself that wiggle room during state board. All right, and our fourth one is kit remains sanitary. That means whenever you go into a bag, you have to sanitize your hands before you go into a bag. And then once you pull whatever you need out, if it is not completely empty, you have to close it and re-sanitize your hands. That's just to make sure. That's a sanitation thing. That's what state board is all about, that sanitation and safety. Okay, without sanitation, you're not safe. So the last one is avoid cross-contamination. Can anyone tell me what cross-contamination is? Anyone know what cross-contamination is? So yes, Kayla, beautiful. Transferring bacteria between surfaces. That is the pure simplified definition. The definition, if you want to write this down, I would. Cross-contamination is the process in which bacteria or other microorganisms are unintentionally transferred from one substance or object to another. Okay, let's talk about that word unintentionally, excuse me. So unintentionally means that we didn't do it on purpose. But here's the thing though, with everything that's going on, did people mean to spread the coronavirus? No, they didn't. It was due to cross-contamination that they did. And now that is affecting all of us. See how important cross-contamination is? That is why State Board is testing over it. And that's why we need to make sure whenever we're doing State Board to not cross-contaminate. So let's go more into the State Board, this exact one. So what the proctors are looking for, if you want to write this down, you can. The proctors are looking for that you're wearing gloves. That is one of the most important sanitary things. It's huge to State Board because wearing gloves ensures your safety, the client's safety, and it just ensures the safety of everyone. Your next one, you have to apply pressure, okay? So whenever we get to more our procedure, you will know to apply pressure. Our next one is clean the cut. You have to make sure that whenever you, in your first aid, whenever you apply pressure, that once it has stopped bleeding, then you can clean it with antiseptics or rubbing alcohol or hydrogen peroxide. I cannot take rubbing alcohol, it burns, so I do not use it. Once you have cleaned the cut thoroughly, that you have not made sure you don't tip the bottle onto the cut, then you bandage it. Make sure you're using a good bandage for the actual size of the cut. Now, with State Board, there is technically no cut, so you can place it anywhere. And we'll get more into where y'all are all supposed to place it. There's different places for SDs, Cosmos, and nail techs. All right, then you properly dispose of used materials, that whole cross-contamination thing. Remember how I said in this certain board, there's a biohazard bag, then there's a regular bag, and then a quart-sized bag to hold everything in. So make sure that you are doing that. All right, so next is sanitize and clean workstation and hands. Remember, we're supposed to sanitize anytime we touch the trash can, anytime we touch anything that is not already cleaned. So you have to sanitize your hands before you go into your bag. You have to sanitize your hands after you touch your client. So make sure you are doing that. Make sure you're not cross-contaminating. Make sure that you are doing everything you can to get every single one of those points. Does everyone have that? Okay, so let's get into the real blood exposure bag. If you have a pen and pencil, I would definitely write this down. For those of you who already have the sheet that we have given you, for those of you who already have the sheet we're giving to you, it's the same exact sheet. Just make sure you're taking extra notes and make sure that you are paying attention, okay? So the service before the blood exposure bag is the monomer polymer over tip service. Make sure you write that down. You need to start memorizing the orders. So that way you just know, okay, after this is this, after this is this. So that way you're a little less nervous. The service after the blood exposure incident is the eyelash strip. So make sure you're thinking ahead, like, oh, the eyelash strip is next. What do I need to do draping wise? Do I need to keep the drape on? Do I need to keep it off? That's kind of why we need to memorize spell this? Okay. So monomer, M-O-N-O-M-E-R, polymer, P-O-L-Y-M-E-R, over tip. And then eyelash strip application. So make sure you know that order just because of draping purposes, and also know your time limits as well. This service takes 10 minutes. So it's not that hard to put a Band-Aid on a mannequin in 10 minutes, but you know that you have the time. Now, it is worth 12 points. Here is all the differences. So Cosmos, Estes, and Nail-Tex, listen up. Nail-Tex, you're going to be doing this service at your manicure stands, your your nail table. You want to do this on the arm of your mannequin, just because whenever you're with the nails, you don't want to put it on a finger if you need to do acrylics or paint the nail. So the hand, or you put it on the very top of the hand or the arm, okay? Okay. So Nail-Tex, you're going to be at your manicure table, and you are going to do this on the upper hand or arm of the mannequin. Now, for Estes and Cosmos, it is the same. Estes and Cosmos, you're going to be at your stations, your workplace stations. At your workplace stations, you're going to have your mannequin. Y'all are going to put the Band-Aid on the mannequin's neck, okay? The reason why you want to put it on the neck is because you do not want, whenever you're doing the facial or that Band-Aid to get in it, whenever you are doing the haircut, you want to make sure that it is not in the way of anything you need. So the neck is the best place. Okay, so is everyone? All right, are there any questions so far? I'll answer your questions.
Tabitha asked, please talk more about draping in between services. I'm going to put this, Tabitha.
So Tabitha, draping in between services. Okay, it depends on service to service. Remember, monomer polymer for Cosmos. you're going to be doing it on the hand or the finger, and you're doing an acrylic, so it's not going to be draped. Right now, you do not have to, during this service, you do not have to drape your mannequin at all. Just make sure the hair is off of the neck. For nail techs, you're going to be, you don't really have a drape. So, any more questions? Okay, so let's get into our actual bag. Right here, I made one for y'all. It is labeled, it's a quart-size bag. I would do something that's easier. The bag, especially, I like these, the full zip tags, just because it's easier if my hands are wet and I don't need, yeah, it's easier whenever my hands are wet, because think you might accidentally spray yourself with the antiseptic or something and your hands might be wet, or if you're like me, your hands sweat whenever you get nervous. So you want to make sure that you're the most comfortable possible. I know little details like what kind of Ziploc bag should I have is probably the last thing on your mind, but it's something it's something to help you out. So I have my bag labeled blood exposure service. So for those of you who are packing with me, what you can do is you can get a little index card or some sticky notes and put them in a bag. So you can put them in any size bag for right now. If you don't want to pack right now, that's completely fine. If you want to pack with me, that's okay too. We're all here. But so your blood exposure service, if you do not have the materials to pack, like I said, use index cards and put them in there and title the stuff. Like I know I need antiseptic spray, so put on your sticky note or index card antiseptic spray and put it inside your baggie, so that way you know what to pack, just in case you don't have this paper or you want to pack this bag later. I would suggest packing it now with us. Okay, so quart-size bag, blood exposure service. Okay, I'm just showing all the materials right now that are in it. I have a sandwich Ziploc bag full of paper towels. Does anyone know why I have extra paper towels in here? Yes, for sanitizing your station. Perfect, Chloe. So the reason why we have these is I would sanitize my hands, take two of them. I have 4 paper towels in here. I would take 2, sanitize my station with EPA, and save my 2 in there completely zip. Remember, you go in the bag, you take something out, you zip it up to make sure. Okay, and I would leave 2 in here for the end of examination cleanup. I have 2 eye rounds. I have 1 water spray bottle labeled antiseptic. The reason why I would have antiseptic labeled on here with the sticky note right here is because it's easier to see. Y'all can tell, even though it's from far away, that it is labeled. So I would make sure whenever I'm labeling stuff that has to be labeled in State Board to use a sticky note instead of just writing on the bottle itself. It's much easier to see for the proctors. Okay, 1 bottle and you are able to use water with this. So I just have 1 spray bottle of antiseptic spray. Can you use others? Yes, you can use other bottles to hold your antiseptic spray as long as it is labeled and it is water. You can use real antiseptic spray, but water's cheaper. I have 1 Band-Aid. If you need more, you can pack more in there. Let's say you drop it. Let's say there's a lot of stuff that can happen. You forget to pack one, make sure you just have at least 1 Band-Aid. If you are nervous, I would suggest packing more. And yes, the Band-Aid does have to be real. And it has to be individually packaged just like this. You can't just have a Band-Aid sitting in there. Make sure that it is sanitized and that's already packaged. They want to see the wrapper, okay? I have one blank fold top sandwich bag. Does everyone see that it's a fold top? Aubrey, yes, it can be any Band-Aid. It doesn't have to be like true Band-Aid brand. It can be any Band-Aids as long as it is just packaged the same, packaged in a disposable wrapper. So here we have a flip top sandwich bag. We just say you use the flip top just because it's easier to stuff things in it and close it really quickly. Now, the thing I will suggest is completely up to you. If you use a normal Ziploc bag that you seal like this or this flip top, just because some people were saying that the proctors can't really see you closing this bag, they can see it close easier. So this is completely up to your choice. Now, this is very important. This is my biohazard bag. Does everyone see that it says biohazard? What I did to save a little bit of money, what you can do to be professional and authentic, you can go on Amazon. There's a pack of 6 stickers for, I think, about $6. On Amazon, you just look up biohazard stickers and they have them for 6 labels for $6 or $10. So they're fairly cheap if you don't want to, which I did not, by the way. What I did was I printed 2 biohazard labels out and and make sure you have a colored printer when you do this. They can be red or they can be orange. Either color will work. Make sure they have the biohazard sign, which is this right here, and the word biohazard, just to make sure. Make sure you have one, and I just taped it to the front. Make sure you have one on the front, one on the back of the bag. So that way, just in case, remember the proctors are glancing at you. They're not exactly staring at you the whole time. So if they can't see the label, they do not know this is my biohazard bag and they might take off. So make sure to, okay? I printed these out, cut them out. I colored it with a red crown, and then I taped them on because I do not have a colored printer. I would suggest having them in color, but this is what I had to work with. I have 1 pair of gloves. Make sure if you are in the state board, for anyone who has big diamond rings, anyone who has rings that may puncture the gloves, I would suggest just not taking. I would suggest just, before you get in there, take off all your rings and put them in your car, just so that way your gloves don't tear and you can't get points taken off for that. Also, for those of you girls, I know we love our long nails. I know we do. Please, 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 before you go to state board, either file them down so that way they won't poke the glove, or just have nubs. It'll be okay for the time being. Okay. Yes, Serena, the gloves can be any color you want. They can be powder, they can be latex, they can be any type of glove as long as they are gloves. I would not suggest, however, they have to be plastic gloves, not leather gloves, not workman's gloves, not gardening gloves. Make sure they are plastic gloves. You can get these at Armstrong. You can get the color gloves at Armstrong. Okay. They can be any color. I personally would suggest powder free, just because whenever I was taking my state board, I packed powdered gloves and mixed with a hand sanitizer. It created a white paste. So it was flaking off all the time, and that's against sanitation. So I would suggest powder free. Latex or no latex is up to you. Color is up to you. Just remember that you're trying for state board not to completely stand out. So don't buy neon pink, neon green. I would not suggest that just because you're going to stand out, and that just gives the proctors more time to judge what you're actually doing, okay? And that is my kit. Are there any questions about the kit?
I can't have my nails definitely.
Estes, I would suggest not having nails. It is not, don't get me wrong, it is not against state board to have nails. You can have however long of nails you wish on state board. My personal suggestion is that you just don't have them, that they're just looking nice, especially Estes, because the proctors are going to be looking right at your hands because you're doing a massage, you're doing a lot of, and nail techs, they're going to be looking at your hands as well. So, you know, you want to practice as much safe. Okay. 1 second, let me repack it. So let's talk about a little bit more state board in general. Does anyone know the uniform you have to wear to go to state board? Nude colored. So with Cosmos, I know that we are supposed to, yes, Alina, yes. What you're supposed to wear is closed-toed shoes only. If you show up in flip-flops, they will have you removed from the premises because you cannot take your test. So make sure that you wear closed-toed shoes. That's so, so, so important. Now, other than that, that is the only uniform the only uniform restriction that you really have to have. Anything else you can wear. I would suggest, personally, I would suggest a non-bright colored ensemble. No, I would not suggest wearing a bright ensemble. You can wear whatever you would like besides the closed-toe shoe. You have to wear closed-toed shoes, okay? Dark colors, anything that's not going to be like super. I wore bright yellow and the proctors were looking at me 24/7 because I just stood out from everyone. I honestly would not wear anything that has any type of wording on it, any jerseys. You can wear your Baldwin shirt, but I wouldn't either just because that'll make you stand out from the rest of the people. You don't have to wear your apron. No, you do not have to wear your apron at all. I would suggest not even wearing an apron because if you wear an apron, that makes you, a lot of you have the habit of putting your utensils in your apron, and that is unsanitary. So don't even wear one. Other than that, I would avoid wearing huge, huge, huge jewelry, any dangling necklaces, any big earrings, huge rings, just because, you know, you could be in the middle of a facial and your jewelry falls on their face. Just make sure of that, okay? Make sure that for girls or anyone with long hair, I would have it pulled back just because it's a lot easier. And think about it. Every single time you do this or you push your hair back, you have to sanitize your hands. So some of us do it by nature, just pulling our hair back 24/7. It's a nervous tick. So just to keep on your side, make sure your hair is pulled back. Yes, Sarah, hair up is the best. Okay, so let's recap over this. Dress code, you must wear closed-toed shoes. You may wear anything else you would like. Just suggestions. Not a lot of big jewelry. Wear your hair up. Dark colors. And you cannot wear a watch. So they will make you take off any watches, even if it's not digital, even if it's an old-timey watch. Apple Watch, digital watches, any type of watch they make you take off. I would not wear bracelets at all, just because, especially I love my charm bracelet, But every single time I try to do someone's hair with it, it gets caught in their hair, and that's not sanitary. So they will make you, when you first walk in, give up your any type of watches, your phone, your keys. All you're allowed to have is your ID, and they will check to make sure you have closed-toed shoes. They will give you a lockable bag that they keep. So you can put your phone, your watch, anything in there, any valuable, and they keep that for you while you're taking the test. So if you would like, I would suggest carrying on the lighter side. I just brought my keys, phone, wallet. That's pretty much all I brought. How many minutes do we have? We have 12 minutes for the total blood exposure incident. You can, yes, you can have your nose ring in. That's completely fine. How many minutes do we have? Nose piercing. Brianna, yes, you can have a nose piercing. It's just these are my suggestions because we're trying not to look out. We're trying not to be, you know, where the judges are just automatically on us. Let me explain the room to you. So with State Board, you're going to have one proctor that's on a computer. They're going to be just typing in everything. You will have two other proctors. They will be going around the room. They will have clipboards on. They will be the one that are writing stuff down while you're doing it. So whenever you're in there, you will have both those proctors. If you are a person that's bringing a lot of attention to yourself, let's say you wear neon pink and you are a nervous wreck and you are just flailing your arms everywhere, not looking as calm, cool, and collected as you need to be, they will watch you more. So you do not need a name tag. So make sure that you are trying not to bring a lot of attention to yourself because those two proctors that have the clipboards, they're going to be walking around. So you're not, all eyes are completely on you at one time. Okay. So that's why it's very, very, very important to be doing what you need to be doing at all time, making sure that you're following safety and sanitation criteria and making sure that you are listening. Let's go into the actual. So when you are ready to start the blood spill procedure, the proctors will tell you, okay, students, you have 12 minutes to complete the blood spill procedure. We will let you know about 6 minutes when it is halfway done. So that is what the proctors say. They will tell you how much time you have and what the service you are doing. So make sure that you are doing that. Make sure you're listening. They will always tell you your instructions, okay? So they will tell you the bag you're supposed to get out, the how many minutes, and the instructions. Make sure you're listening to that. Because I have noticed, I've done a lot of research on it, that the Austin might be different from the San Antonio instructions. Sometimes the proctors give you a little bit more and a little bit less instructions. For example, they might tell you to clean up that the station has already been pre-sanitized. That means that you do not have to do that. You do not have to EPA it if it's already pre-sanitized. Or they might not tell you anything, which means you have to pre-sanitize your hands and make sure you're wiping with EPA. So make sure that you are listening to those instructions, okay? They will tell you everything you need to know. So let's get into the real one. Now, our proctor has told us that there is 12 minutes, that they're going to be nice enough to tell us when 6 minutes have been remaining. They're going to tell us to get our kit out of our bags. So what does that mean? If we have to pull out of our bags? What does that mean? Thank you for reporting him, Kayla.
No, I'm too.
Yes. I want y'all all to sanitize your hands before you go into anything, okay? So we're going to sanitize our hands. I am not going to really sanitize my hands because we know how sacred this hand sanitizer is right now. So make sure you open it just like this with 2 hands. Make sure that the nozzle is not touching you, and make sure that you drip it. And make sure you close the lid, put it down, and sanitize your hands. And make sure this is kind of a slow step, so that way the proctors know, okay, I have seen them sanitize. Because remember, you're not completely 100% being watched. The proctors are looking over all of you. So make sure that they know that you have sanitized. That if that means even if the sanitizer is still dry, just kind of making sure, that is okay. We're going to reach into our bag, okay? We got our bag, we put it on our table. What is the next step that we do? Beautiful. Yes, don't touch the tip. Yes, Ava, you can have the pump one. I just didn't bring it. It didn't fit my bag. So you can have the pump one. If you do have the pump, just make sure that your hand is laying flat and that you use another one to pump it. Do you see? I know y'all can't see, but you cannot have your hand touching the pump, and you cannot have your hand touching the inside of this. So, yes. So whenever we have sanitized our hands, now we can get our EPA and our paper towels. Okay, I did not bring EPA. Pop quiz. What are the 4 items you already have on your station? It's okay. Does anyone remember what the 4 items they have on their station? Monica, what you can use to pump with if you can't use your hand is you have to find a way to free up your hands to be able. Oh, yes, Chloe, yes. That's my babies. Yes. So you're already going to have your hand sanitizer, your EPA, your trash bag, and your blood exposure bag. Not to be confused with this. This is the blood exposure service. You will have another bag on your station that is a blood exposure bag, just in case you cut yourself during the haircut. That's for you. Okay? Do not confuse them. There are 2 different bags. One stays on your station. One is used for this service, okay? You will have your EPA labeled EPA hospital grade disinfectant. You will have your hand sanitizer. Your hand sanitizer does not have to be labeled hand sanitizer, but just make sure it is real hand sanitizer. And you have to have a real EPA as well. The third thing you have on your station is your trash bag. So that is good. And then the 4th thing is your blood exposure incident bag. Now, for those of you who need the trash bag has to be really, really big, because you're throwing everything away, as in mannequin heads, as in anything that you use during this whole entire state board. You throw it away in that one trash bag. So make sure it is big. And I mean big, like more than a 10-gallon, like big. Okay. Yes, Aubrey. So all of these items will always stay on your station no matter what. So whenever you do your pre-sanitation disinfection, you get those out of their bag, and then you have them on the rest of your station. Just make sure whenever you're EPAing the whole station that you kind of pick them up, wipe underneath them, make sure you're wiping the mirror and the chair. Okay? All right, so are there any questions so far? I know I'm giving you a lot of information, but this information is so important. All right. No questions? We're all good? All good? For the hand sanitizer, it can be any hand sanitizer. It doesn't have to be Germ-X, or it can be anything anything. If you want to get Bath and Body Works good smelling hand sanitizer, go right ahead. All power to you. If you don't want to, just make sure that you have real hand sanitizer and real EPA. You can get it. I don't know if you can get it now, but I would wait until all this blows over. Then you can probably get it. Yes, Emily, you can use a regular trash bag. So any type of trash bag, I would just make sure it's really, really, really big. The one I'm using is from the school. And I have a piece of tape here holding my one up, okay? Any more questions? I wanna make sure that I can give you all every single detail that I can. Bath and Body Works is only 60%, but the thing is though, State Board is not looking for virus and bacteria control. They're making sure that you're using your hand sanitizer for sanitation purposes before and after you touch your client, before you dig your hands in the truck, before you dig your hands in a pre-sanitized thing. So it really doesn't matter as long as it is hand sanitizer, okay? All right, so I'm gonna take a quick break for all of you that need to process this information, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. Can everyone hear me? Everyone can hear me, correct? Okay, cool. So for a few of your questions, they are great questions. Keep asking questions because the only way to know the answer is to ask questions if you don't already know the answer. So I'm glad to see y'all are all back. Yes, perfect. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to actually demonstrate everything for you. Remember, you have your mannequin stand, you have your trash bag, you have your EPA, you have your hand sanitizers. The only thing that you cannot have is a whole roll of paper towels on your station. So to make sure that you have paper towels to clean your station with EPA every single time, just have a little baggie in each one of your procedures, just to make sure. So, like I said, trash bag, mannequin stand, and mannequin head are already here. Your hand sanitizer, your EPA, and I know I have a creeper on here, it's okay. Your hand sanitizer and your EPA, okay? So we hand sanitized our hands. We are going into our bag. We are taking out our paper towels and we are closing the bag, okay? We are putting our bag down, sanitizing our hands, opening this bag, taking out 2 paper towels, closing the bag. Close the bag. You may place it over here. I have my EPA. I don't have EPA, but I will spray everything down, wipe it, throw my paper towels in my trash bag, hand sanitize my hands again because I touched the trash bag. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the contents out of my bag. So I have my leftover paper towels for the end of the procedure. And I will take out all the rest. I have my 1 biohazard bag on both sides. I have my 1 regular bag. I have my 2 I-round cottons. You can either use 4x4s or I-cotton rounds for this. I would suggest just using cotton rounds. 1 is for applying pressure, and the other one is for cleaning after the astringent. The next, I have my already pre-sealed Band-Aid. I have my antiseptic right here, labeled antiseptic. Just make sure you can use real antiseptic or you can use water. And you may also use one of those little, I don't know what they're called, like the clicky top ones where they click up and then you know. So you can also use one of those. So there we are. Our gloves. Okay. I'm going to seal my bag back up. Yes, you do have to seal your bag even though you're about to throw it in the trash. So seal it. I'm going to throw it in my trash bag. Hand sanitize my hands. Because why am I hand sanitizing my hands? Why am I hand sanitizing my hands, guys? Why did I just hand sanitize my hands? Because you touched the dirty, yes. Because I just touched the trash bag. Yes, perfect. We sanitize our hands after we touch the trash bag every single time. Beautiful. Y'all are doing a great job answering all these questions. Now, I have everything sanitized. My hands are all sanitized. My implements are all on my station, all ready to go. The first thing I do is I'm going to grab my mannequin. Remember, your mannequin is already on a on your stand, or for nail techs, your hand is already on your stand, on your station. It's going to be clamped here. So of course I have my mannequin right here. Now, another thing about mannequins is see how there is writing on this one. You cannot have writing on your mannequin whatsoever. So if you draw on here, if you draw all over your mannequin, make sure that you can either take it off or just try to find one that doesn't have any type of wording on it. If you do, and there's no other mannequin, I can easily just take alcohol and take this Sharpie off. But if you do, and it's like Hannah, and it's already written on there, just cover it with a, just already have it covered with tape. Now, you can see I have my mannequin. Okay, so what I am going to do first is I am going to sanitize my hands because I touched my model. That's closing. I'm going to place my gloves on. And remember, you have 12 minutes to do everything. I have my gloves on. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the pressure to the wound. I would tilt her a little bit this way just to make sure. And I'm going to tilt her this way so you guys can see. No, I do not already have a pre-cut. You do not need to mark on your mannequin to make it. Just pretend. So apply pressure, okay? With nail techs, it'll be on the arm, okay? We have to, everything in this state board is all mannequins. So apply your pressure. Then what you throw it in your biohazard bag. So that's what's different. All right, so you apply it, you put it in your biohazard bag. So make sure you have, you get your, oh, it's okay. Make sure you put it in your biohazard bag, close your biohazard bag, put it on your station. Now, the next thing we do is clean the cut using antiseptic. So what I am going to do is just spray. Sorry, this is all hard to do one-handed. Spray the antiseptic on there. I would use a spray just because it's more sanitary and they can see that you're getting the wound. So spray it at least 2 times tops. Put your antiseptic down because you're still sanitary. And then you are going to take your other cotton round and you're going to blot your wound. You're going to blot the antiseptic. Okay, just blot it a little. Then what you're going to do is you're going to put that in your biohazard bag. Now, what was the reason why I did not have to put my antiseptic in my biohazard bag? What is that reason? Yes, perfect, Chloe. It did not touch the wound at all. So it is okay to put on the back on the station. Okay, after you applied your antiseptic and you have blotted it, the next thing to do is the Band-Aid. I'm going to show you how to properly put on a Band-Aid. That is what State Board is looking for. A lot of people just rip it open with their teeth and then place it on there. That is not okay. So what you need to do is you need to take the 2 flips, the 2 little flaps. Open it. Okay. There we go. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the Band-Aid. Make sure it still has the backs on it, okay, guys? So it still has to have that back on it. I'm going to keep this in my hand just because if I touch my biohazard bag, it's going to be a little weird with the hand sanitizer. So I'm just going to keep it like this. So the next thing I'm going to do, I don't know why I chose a really weird Band-Aid. There we go. Sorry, I chose like a really weird Band-Aid. There we go. So whenever you have a normal Band-Aid, you know how you kick the little flaps out and then you just place it on the wound like this. and then pull out the tabs. That's what you do on a normal one. This isn't exactly normal. So what I'm going to do, there we go. Thank you, Mabry. I did not have a normal Band-Aid. So if I have a weird one like this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure there is not any hair in the way. And I'm just going to make sure I do not touch the wound or the sticky part at all. So I'm going to take it just like this, apply it to my wound, and stick it. Did you see how I did not touch the inner part of the Band-Aid at all? That's what they're looking for when doing this. Okay. What size of the Band-Aid have to be? Any size. I would just do a regular size Band-Aid. It'll just be easier. It doesn't have to be, it can be cloth, it can be plastic. I would just make sure to have a regular one, not the weird one I was using. So after I do that, I will put all of this trash in the biohazard bag, okay? Since my procedure is done, I'm going to take my biohazard bag and put it inside of my other bag. This avoids cross-contamination, and this avoids any airborne pathogens that might seep out due to the blood. All right, make sure it is closed. Make sure both bags are closed inside. You're all good to go, and throw it in the trash, okay?
Repeat the time it takes.
It takes 12 minutes, okay? You have 12 minutes to do this whole thing. I'm going a little slower so y'all can write notes, okay? Now we're gonna remove our bandages, okay? What I'm gonna do, my gloves, sorry. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my inner pinky, put it on the inside of the glove just like this, remove my glove, there we go, hold it in my other glove, okay? I have not touched anything that is not sanitary. I'm going to touch the inner part of my glove as well, and I'm going to remove my glove. And because this is the inner part, it was just touching my hand. So I may place that in the trash can, and I'm going to sanitize my hands. After that, if you listen to your directions, they might say, raise your hand before you clean up for us to check the Band-Aid. Or during those directions, they might have you clean up everything and then they'll check the Band-Aid. So just to make sure you will have to listen to those directions. So now that we have our hands all sanitized and everything, we throw away our antiseptic, sanitize our hands again because we touched the trash, open our baggie, and EPA the rest of the station, and throw away our used paper towels and our bag in our trash, and sanitize our hands. And after that, the judges, depending on the directions, they may look at your Band-Aid. She's right there. They may look at your Band-Aid to make sure. Are there any questions? I have taught y'all everything I know about this. Are there any questions about it? Put the Band-Aid trash in the biohazard just to make sure that materials, because the Band-Aid wrapper has not touched the wounds, so you do not technically have to. That's why I kind of kept it in my hand to do the Band-Aid, just so that way I can put all the trash in the biohazard bag as soon as possible. Oh, yes, your hair will be a lot shorter than this. So what I did was I just brushed it to the side to make sure I had that room. All right. Well, other than that, make sure you tune into Molly from 4 to 5. Yeah, to Molly for 4 to 5. Make sure you have a great day, and thank y'all for joining me. I hope y'all learned a lot about Stay Bored.